Yeah, who do you want to be Everton's next manager? David Unsworth had his press conference today. Very, very impressive press conference. Obviously, he's always very enthusiastic about Everton. Absolutely loves Everton. But can he back it up? Can he take what he's done in the under-23s and take that to the Premier League? It looks like he's going to be in charge till at least the international break, which is on November the 5th. These are the odds at the moment from Ladbrokes. Unsworth is 9-4. He's come in a lot from yesterday. Sean Dyche 3-1. He was the favourite yesterday. Thomas Tuchel 4-1, who's come in a little bit. Obviously, there's been some comments today surrounding him saying that he is not dismissing the Everton job. That's progress, isn't it? He's not dismissing. He said in the past he wanted to come to the Premier League, but he wanted a Champions League team. But maybe he thinks Everton could be a good project. Marco Silva, who's impressed a lot of people at Watford, is 8-1. Carlo Ancelotti is 9-1. David Moyes and Sam Allardyce are both 10-1. I think last night they were around 4-5-1. Chris Coleman 16-1. Paulo Fonseca 16-1. Phil Neville and Ryan Giggs 16 to. See, I hear Ryan Giggs and Phil Neville, and I just think, well, why would you give the job to Phil Neville or Ryan Giggs when you've got David Unsworth there? David Wagner 20-1. Duncan Ferguson 20-1, and then come the likes of Mikel Arteta. I think he's about 20-1, and Rafa Benitez as well, who's out there as well. So I thought David Unsworth was really impressive today in the way he spoke. I thought the way he spoke about Ross Barkley was absolutely brilliant. The way he was so positive about Ross Barkley's future, I thought that was absolutely brilliant. It was what a lot of people, want to hear from the manager, or certainly, and I think what David Unsworth did as well, he spoke like a manager as well, or he spoke like there was no panic, and it was he was gonna get on with it like he was the manager. He spoke about a lot of things like they were almost like they were long term. Like even when he spoke about Ross Barkley, he said, "I'll sit down with him and I'll see if I can change his mind over a cup of tea." So I thought that was really positive, because this is a man who might only be in charge for the next 2 weeks. But I thought he spoke like he believed that he could be the Everton manager, and I think that's really important because I think if he doesn't get it this time, I think he'll probably start thinking about his future. Does he want to be an under-23s manager for the rest of his life? I don't think so. I think he wants to be a manager. He wants to be the manager of Everton Football Club. That's really clear. So I think if he doesn't get it this time, he'll think, well, maybe I have to go away and get the experience to come back and become the Everton manager. But I think at the moment, I think what's shown by the what I just spoke about there about the players that the managers that are getting mentioned with the job, there's no real standout candidate. There's no one that anyone would really. Everyone's got the pros and everyone's got the cons. Sean Dyche is doing a terrific job at Burnley. But then fans would say, well, it's not exciting. It's not a Hollywood manager. But who is a Hollywood manager? Tuchel. Is he a Hollywood manager? A lot of people wouldn't even know who Thomas Tuchel was. He did a good job, a pretty good job at Dortmund. Walked out because he had issues with the board. I think selling some of the players. But does he jump out at people? Now, obviously, Carlo Ancelotti, he is a name. But has he got the credentials? Is he more of a Champions League manager? A manager who takes over good teams and good sides? But you look at the Bayern Munich side he has. That was a decent side. And he was struggling to get a tune out of that. So could he get a tune out of this Everton side? I think at the moment, there's only a handful of candidates. Marco Silva. Now, what's the difference between Marco Silva and Sean Dyche? Marco Silva's gone into Watford, and he seems to be doing very, very well. But you look at what Sean Dyche did. And Sean Dyche has got a he's got a 39% win rate at Burnley, which is the same as what Thomas Tuchel had at Mainz before he went to Dortmund. So, you know, both at small clubs, struggling because you know they would struggle because they're small clubs, but doing a good job. Now, he got the chance to move on to Dortmund, who were obviously a Champions League team. Why doesn't Sean Dyche get that chance now? Is this just the way we are sort of in this country? We don't want to look at those kind of people. Is there no path? Whereas like some Marco Silva's at Watford and everyone's raving about him. There is a little bit of sort of there is a weird sort of a weird way we look at certain people because they're foreign managers and because I think also because of what Pochettino's done at Tottenham as well. So, I mean, Unsworth, obviously, his credentials are, he seems to be a fantastic manager at the under-23 level. He obviously won the Premier League too. He seems to be a really, really good motivator. He seems to be a good coach. But can he step up into the Premier League and do that? That's the big question. That's something that we'll get to see in the next couple of weeks. And hopefully we don't just get to see him do that just by motivation. We want to see a little bit of coaching as well. We want to see the players go out there and, you know, actually see something different. Bring some coaching to the side, but get this side to start playing in a way that's different. If he can do that, then maybe he might convince a few people that, you know, he can actually do it. If he comes in, it's just all about like the new manager bounce. Then we've seen that at Leicester with Shakespeare. I just wonder whether David Unsworth can come in and actually turn things around to the point that, you know, he's actually changing it around tactically. But it is just full of Evertonians. John Ebrell, he's got John Ebrell, Joe Royle, Duncan Ferguson. He's brought in Alan Kelly as the goalkeeping coach. Franny Jeffers is going to take over the under-21s tonight, the under-23s. So, yeah, let me know some suggestions here. Andrew Ryan says Tuchel or maybe Fonseca, someone with style of play that is effective and good to watch. Most importantly, wants to win things and break into the top four. Getting someone like Dyche is at best accepting we will be nothing more than 7th year after year. See, I disagree with that slightly because I just think, I'm not saying I'm convinced I want Dyche, but I just think he is waiting for a chance. How do these managers break into those teams if they don't get a chance? Alan Badley says, honestly, I'm not throwing any names in this time because my pick last time was Koeman. I just want someone who's a top priority is Everton. They call us and fully understand the club. Someone who doesn't expect to lose any games and gives us all for the badge. Yeah, I mean, that's it, isn't it? Most people want a Koeman. So it's hard to... I think a few people feel stung by that. And it is hard because I really don't think there's a standout candidate at this time. I really don't. Over to Facebook. Trevor Longmore says Dyche is good enough for Leicester, not Everton. Okay. Gary Asher says Davy Moyes, get him back. Nicky Kingston says Ancelotti, please. Owen says we need a manager like Pochettino, uses youth effective, doesn't discard players like Koeman, young and can work and improve players. People like Ancelotti and Koeman are old and stubborn, like you see today with the pitches, gets along with the players and all smiles. Talking about Unsworth there. Jess Smith says we have to show some trust in we have to show some trust in Unsworth, let him do his thing. I can see him sorting the problem. Very positive. Michael Parsons says should be 1,000 to 1 for Giggs and Neville. Paul Graham says I think if we could get Carlo Ancelotti, it has to be him. No one else touches him. He can attract top players. Lots of people saying give it to Unsworth. Robin Wilson says I love Ancelotti, but after hearing Unsworth today, I feel like it would be more passion for the club than Ancelotti, and Ancelotti being very more similar to Koeman. Is there a school of thought that maybe someone like Ancelotti could come in for 18 months with Unsworth under him? Max Max Barlow says Tuchel is very passionate. And this thing is moving so fast that I'm not getting to see the end of the comments. Eddie Howe plays better football than Dyche. That's from Keithy. Lee says give it to John Meadow. Jamie Hobson on Periscope says wasn't fussed on Koeman. Looking forward to seeing Unsworth, but would like it to see Ancelotti get it. The real Mick says Tuchel can make playing at Goodison a scary place to go again. Tom Moore says Tuchel every day of the week, no doubt about it. So a lot of people in Tuchel's camp obviously was at Dortmund. I think he had a 65% win rate at Dortmund. Did very well. Very methodical manager, a bit like Pep Guardiola. Speaks perfect, very, very good English, perfect English. Very good mates with Pep Guardiola as well. So again, I could see him being a name. It's just whether Everton go after him. Some newspapers saying last night he was Everton's number one priority, and then other people saying, well, it's Sean Dyche. So we'll wait and see. As I say, I don't think there's a clear favourite for anyone at the moment. I'm not seeing a school of thought where people are going after one manager. Jamie Hobson says, didn't Tuchel fall out with a lot of players? I don't know if that's true. I know he did fall out with the board at Borussia Dortmund over selling players. What else have we got? Jack 6 says, I want the ball or Pardew. Yes. Jake Ward says, I wouldn't mind having Eddie Howe, but Unsworth is just a ledge. Robert says, Roy Keane. Nah. Robbie, someone says, Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV. Not sure about that. Obviously, a few people pointing out that Eddie Howe is an Evertonian. That's fine. I just don't think he's as steeped in that kind of thing as David Unsworth is. Gilly says Tuchel because he trusts the youngsters. Andrew Vale says Ancelotti would be a dream manager, but Thomas Tuchel is the man. So a lot of people saying, I think there's a clear split between Thomas Tuchel and David Unsworth. Actually, I'm not seeing many shouts for Dyche, and I'm not seeing many shouts for anyone else. So it does seem that people either want Tuchel or Unsworth. So yeah, and my plug is about to run out. So I'm just gonna plug my battery in. There you have it. Done. Mancini, could he be a shout? A few people saying they want Baz. I think Baz could be my assistant. Tom Renner says only problem is if these managers want to manage us while we're in the state we're in. Yeah, but surely if these managers come in, I mean we're only 6 points off being, top half team. So if these managers come in and they have a winning habit and they get us winning, then we won't be it won't be a relegation. You know what I mean? It's very, very early in the season. It's early enough that we can turn around what we've done so far and be looking upwards. Well, I don't think we're in a position yet where we should be worried. Well, obviously we should be worried about the position we're in. But if these managers come in, they can look at the situation, look at the players, and think, I can do something with that. And I think if it dragged on any longer and we got into November and December, then you would be looking at a relegation sort of manager. But I think we've done it early enough that if we can get someone in that believes in the players and believes in what he's doing, then we can get into the top half. And then, but I think we've got the players. It's just a case of getting the belief in them and getting them playing away. That obviously gets the most out of them. Let's get back over to Facebook. See what people are saying over there. Jeff Smith says, no one knows Everton more than Unzi. He shares the passion of the fans. Love the way he spoke about Barkley. The man is blue blood. Kevin Burke says Tuchel 100%. Graham says Tuchel with Unzi. Rob says Tuchel. Owen says Tuchel. So there's a lot for Tuchel and there's a lot for Unsworth. So that seems to, there's hardly any for Sean Dyche, hardly any at all. So that doesn't seem like that too many people want that. Someone says need to give Unsworth till January, and then if it's not working, get Tuchel in. But surely, why would Tuchel want it? If Tuchel wanted, he'd want it now, wouldn't he? You'd get him now. So yeah, it does seem like it's Unsworth or Tuchel for a lot of our fans. I can't see too many other names. A couple of people mentioned Ranieri. Do you have Ranieri back into the Premier League with us? Obviously a Premier League winner. Pellegrini is another one that's getting mentioned. Zach says Tuchel 110%. Yeah. So I think at the moment there's a good split between Tuchel and Unsworth, and obviously Unsworth's going to get that chance now in the next few weeks. And obviously Everton will be talking to people in the next few weeks. It's not going to be a case of they're not talking to. They're going to wait and see what they're going to see what Unsworth's doing while talking to the top targets, and then make a decision. And if Unsworth can get the team playing in an effective way, that will make a massive difference. I don't think he will get the job if you're just seeing almost like a bounce, like play it. I think that's where Leicester went wrong, giving it to Shakespeare. I think all he did was get the players playing the way they wanted to play. It didn't really kick. It hasn't really kicked on. It didn't kick on in the summer. People will work out the way you play. So I think Unsworth has to come in and he has to be really effective the way he does things and tactically change it. So we'll wait and see anyway. Thank you to everyone for getting all your comments in. Great to be on live, getting all your comments in. As I say, it does seem to be Unsworth versus Tuchel for the Everton job. That's whether Thomas Tuchel wants it. Hopefully he will. And we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching Toffee TV. I'll see you later.